Sonali, real simple, in all the calls you make and the ballet you go through, is Citigroup part of the big banks, or are they an also-ran?
It's a great question because we know they're going through those regulatory issues. We know that this is Jane Fraser's first full quarter as CEO of the company. They're reshaping that consumer business, but in investment banking, I think is one of the most important ones. In fixed income trading, they are the number 2 by revenue, right? Also fell short of expectations. In advisory, we knew that they were behind Bank of America in market share just by where the global league table sat. At the same time as these numbers were coming out, CFO of Bank of America, Paul D'Onofrio, was speaking to the media, and what he was saying was they were seeing market share gains, especially in those middle market businesses across America. These deals are somewhat smaller than we've seen in previous boom times for deals. That market share question, again, is going to continue to be a big story this year as we see divergence among businesses on Wall Street.
Stock dancing around to the pre-market, Sonali, as you might expect. We're basically unchanged on Citi. Let's talk about the forward look. Just a little bit of a guide from Bank of America, some constructive language from Citi, all the kind of language you might expect. Sonali, what's your read on that, the forward look through the rest of this year?
You and I have been talking about this a lot, that Citigroup is cheaper relative to its peers. It's trading below its book value. And so is it a turnaround story as they get through these regulatory issues, as they try to build more market share in Jane Fraser's early days as CEO of the company at that investment bank? Can they maintain that FIC wallet as high as it is? These are all questions that are outstanding for Citigroup. The cost question is interesting because you look over at Bank of America and Wells Fargo, both of their headcounts for the quarter are down on the quarter. Yet at Bank of America, the costs are still higher for compensation expenses and other expenses. So how is Citigroup going to be competitive? At the end of the day, it comes down to just not only flexibility, but also what they are able to pay their bankers.
And when you talk about flexibility, how much do you expect Fraser to discuss the work from home type of aspect, especially as Bank of America CFO comes out and says, you're all back to the office come September?
Yeah, it's a great question because we heard David Solomon just yesterday over at Goldman Sachs saying 50% of his people are coming back into the offices. I spoke to one of Goldman's top bankers, and he said that return to office is a key thing that helps them gain market share at the end of the day. Will Jane Fraser defend her strategy about flexibility when it comes to retaining talent? They said it was a competitive advantage for them, but then we'll also need to see those hiring plans. Are we going to see their pipeline of senior bankers grow in the coming months?
Final word. Pretty much all the banks have delivered now. Morgan Stanley coming up tomorrow. What are you looking for?
The wealth fees, John. Absolutely. They want to grow their lending book, and that is the one place in loans that is growing on Wall Street. That, and are they able to maintain their wallet in equities where we know that Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan have been nipping at their heels for many, many quarters here and showing some gains?